Hello, everyone. I am sorry and I do apologize for the delay. My streaming software decided that it did not want to act correctly when and how I needed it to. So, give me just one moment. Let me go ahead and open the room up to everyone and welcome everyone in. Again, please, please, please forgive my streaming software for not wanting to come in and connect with you guys. If you are joining me or rejoining me, should I say, again, I am sorry. We are going to go ahead and get this thing rocking and rolling. Let me just allow access to Facebook as well so that way we can make this thing do what it do, because 'cause I'm trying to get to all the people that I can. Okay, Facebook says that we are live. Let me change the permissions so that I can let y'all in. Okay, so y'all should be good. Everyone can come in fully. Come up, say hi to your girl. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you can see and hear everything that I'm talking about. We're getting started a little bit later today. And I promise this is the last time I'm going to apologize. I just don't like it when stuff doesn't go right, especially when I'm trying to come and connect with you guys. Because some of you, guys in the world, people, y'all a little finicky and, you are hard on people when especially they are trying to do their best, which is what I'm trying to do. So again, if you are coming and joining me tonight, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know who you are. And yeah, let's just make this thing a good opportunity for the night. So welcome to the Sunday Sit Down, the show where we dive deep into the art and science of personal growth. I am your host, Nicole Latrice, and each week, we'll explore new ways to elevate your mindset, enhance your productivity, and lead a more fulfilling life. Because I hope that's what all of you are wanting to do in watching this and just in life, period. There will be everything from expert interviews to practical strategies. We're here to help you unlock your full potential. So, whether you're on your commute currently going to and from wherever it is that you're physically going, or even the commute of your mind. Maybe you're in the gym right now trying to get some gains, in your muscle structure. Your brain is a muscle as well, and we need to figure out how to make that grow. Or maybe you're just like me and relaxing in the environment of your home. No matter where you are, it's time to get ready to take that step into your greatness. So let's get started on this journey together. So if you've been joining me in any of the previous weeks, you know that we have currently embarked on a process called a mind reset. For me, my mind reset became a necessity when I got to the realization and entered into the space of the awareness of how I was fumbled or mishandled in a previous relational experience, is what I will call it. And it put me into the position of really trying to figure out, well, Nicole, how in the world could and did something like that happen? And then also, how and why did it go on for as long as it did? What is it that allowed me to get into that space to let that energy in? If I'm being all the way honest, what was it that allowed me to operate and come in to a situation at a low space, a low point, a low vibrational frequency? Never again. I'm not doing that anymore. And so in the process of doing my mind reset, it gave me, a practical way to be able to come and talk to you guys and help you guys be able to do the same. So the first week we talked about limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are those things, whether said or unsaid, that are genuinely holding you back from obtaining the life that it is that you want to live, becoming the person that it is that you want to be, or moving fully past the situation that you're wanting to move past. After that, then we talked about the law of attraction and being able to change your luck by changing the way that you think. And if you're anyone like me, I don't necessarily believe in luck. but I do believe that my thoughts will show and reveal to God what is truly in my heart and what it is that I'm truly desiring for Him to be able to, mix and mold and shape it into what is best according to His will. Last week, I asked a simple question: what would make your life better? Who, by a show of hands, has answered that question for themselves to say what would make their lives better? Have you uncovered that? Have you unpacked that? Have you really sat with that question? If you haven't, it's okay. You still have that opportunity to do so now, but that is a fundamental question that you should be asking yourself is what could make your life better? And you can go back and run, the episode back to get those practical tips and strategies and things like that that I offered. But today we're going to get into a topic that a lot of people, myself included, I'm not removed from it, I'm not above it. It is something that we as humans, hey, Debonair Mel, yes, thank you for joining me. I'm appreciative of it and saying hi. But today we're going to get right into it. We're talking about letting go, the power of letting go. Because for some of us, we struggle with, well, if I have to let certain things go, then there's a certain level of power that I've lost in having to let those things go. But you always have, I'm going to say this now in the beginning, you always have the same power you did before you had to let that thing go. You just stopped utilizing that power in the wrong spaces. So, understanding the critical skill of being able to let go, like, it is a power move. It is a flex unlike no other. But just like any other muscle in your body, just like any other thing that you want to be able to obtain in your life, you have to work to be able to get to understanding like just how big of a skill that is. And letting go, like really letting go, it ain't for the faint of heart. Everybody ain't truly gonna be able to do it. Because letting go means to sever. Anything that tethers you to the space in which you're trying to move away from, anything that can pull you back into the space of that person who was hurt and decided to hurt you, and you don't want to be hurt anymore, so you had to let that hurt person go. You got to master the skill and understand the power that it takes to truly let go. And performing a mind reset should increase the power level that you feel like you are operating in. Letting go doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It's actually good because, and I told my aunt this earlier, you cannot fully move into the space, the grace, the place, the mindset, the um, goodness, the fullness. You can't move into that space without first letting go. You can't get what's meant for you if you're still holding on to that which you must let go. Learning to let go is a very difficult skill to develop. It's also one of the most valuable and important if you really want to reset your mind and attack life with a new positivity and determination. Like, it's important. However, the unfortunate truth is that many of us are defined by our past experiences and we allow them to color and guide our future behaviors and judgments. Like, when you can't let go, you'll start to maneuver in a way that you are leading yourself, that you're not operating in the same space or in capacity or with the same mindset that you were in that previous experience. But you are, it's just going to take you longer to realize that that's exactly how you've been operating because you haven't let go. Now, I've said this before because there are quite a few people that I've interacted with, and Some people let go as a means to try to make themselves feel like what it was, it didn't matter. Because it's no longer, it didn't have full value. Like at one point it did because you held on to it. And if you're the other person that's on the other side of being held on to, once that person is no longer holding on and they've let you go, both parties are impacted in one way or another. One party is going to live fully in the fact of that letting go aspect, and the other one is going to live in denial until the reality of letting go catches up with them. If you've had a traumatic experience in your past, then this can stay with you and cause you to feel as though you might have further bad luck in the future. So, some people are, when it comes to the space of letting go, they let go and they hide. They let go and they retreat. It's like a turtle is my spirit animal. Okay. And if you've watched any of my other videos, a lot of my references are aquatic references. If you look at a turtle is its shell. The shell is its environment. It's the environment that it lives in. It's the environment that it functions in. It's the environment that provides protection. A turtle shell is its everything. If you make a sudden movement around a turtle, the turtle shrinks into its shell because the shell is rigid. The shell is protection. The shell is covering. We are no different from a turtle in the aspect of the things that we let go of. There are people who will let go of certain things and they're stuck within the things that they let go of. And when this happens, we don't often give ourselves fully to relationships because of the bad relationships that we've had in the past. That's that shrinking in. That's that, okay, I'm in my shell. There's nothing that can harm me. There's nothing that can get in here that I don't want to. I'm safe. And the same is true not just in the relationship space. It's like it's the same way in all of our experiences, old experiences with parents and friends and coworkers. All of that shapes the way that we see ourselves. It actually kind of shapes the way of us being able to let stuff go. Keep this in mind. If you're to move on with a positive mindset, you need to clear the emotional baggage first. And if you're not aware that you have a level of emotional baggage, join me in the holding space. The space where what was before, it doesn't matter because it's not where we are now. In the space of where our future is, that doesn't matter at this point because we haven't fully moved into that opportunity. We haven't moved into that space. The holding space, it ain't for punks. It's not because you're sitting in a place where everything is controlled, quiet. And in the space of everything being quiet, there's still so much that's still going to come at you. But in the space of the holding, when it comes to letting go, this is where everything needs to come up to the surface. This is where everything needs to come out, where it needs to come up so you can fully deal with it. Letting go is something that we all have to go through at one time or another, in one area or another, in one way or another. There is no escaping having to let go of something or someone, whether it is a thought process that you once had before, excuse me, whether it is a previous experience. Like, okay, so if you've been watching any of my videos, like I'm 40. I know I don't look like it, but I am. And in where I am now within my own journey of healing, I didn't realize like fully the level of my abandonment issues that I had. And then on top of that, it wasn't enough to be put into the space of Nicole, this feeling that you have not been able to identify before now is abandonment. Okay. If you watched last week's video, I talked about the fivefold why. The fivefold why can apply in a lot of different situations, and I'm gonna walk you through how. So, whenever you come to the point of having a thought or having a feeling, if it is something that you want to improve upon, if it is something that you want to change, if it is something that you want to, low key no longer exist, once you come to the place of the awareness of what that is, for me, it's my abandonment issues. Where did those abandonment issues come from? At first, I couldn't determine it. I just know that that's how I felt, and I felt that not from my most recent relational experience, but from my marriage. All right, I feel abandoned. What has been done or not done to make me feel abandoned? Why do those things produce the feeling of abandonment within me? Is this abandonment truly something that is a direct result of something that my now ex husband has done? Or is it because of something that I maybe inadvertently have facilitated or allowed, or whatever the case may be, in the space of me not knowing? Now that I know what this abandonment feels like, what can I do not to feel this abandonment any longer? So the fivefold why is literally you ask yourself at least like five additional questions. And each time you come to a conclusion, ask yourself another question so that you can get to the deepest part of the why. So now it's just like, okay, like I've navigated through all of that, but wait, my abandonment is a result of my father's absence in my life. Why did it turn into such a thing in my intimate relationship space? And it took some time and some sitting with it and my therapist to ask me a couple different questions. But it came about like the conclusion that I have now in regards to that. That was the first time that I ever felt that someone should have fought for me, no matter whatever the situation was. And as a kid, I didn't know the situation. All I know is the way that seeing lack of certain things in his presence in my life, it produced me feeling like, well, he didn't fight for me, not knowing what the battle was that he had to fight. So fast forward to relationship spaces, like I have male friends all through high school, all through college. I have more male friends than I have female friends. That's the standard. That's normal. And I mean platonic friends, not, friends with benefits, not any of that, like, but genuine guy friends, genuine male energy that I was still exposed to. But the relationship lack that I felt from the presence of my father in my life transformed itself into the space of my significant other in my life, because those are two representations of men being in my life to be able to show me what's worth fighting for. Like I say, I don't rehearse any of this. These stories, they come out as I start talking to y'all. So much so now it's just like, okay, Nicole, like, and it turned into a level of my love addiction. It's just like there's somebody out there who's gonna fight for me. Oh, this person said they like me. They said I'm cute. And keep in mind, this is young mindset, Nicole. They like me. They think I'm cute. They give me some attention. All right, cool. Like this is that person. This person is willing to fight for me because they like me, because they want me around. All right, cool. Well, no, they didn't. No, they don't. All right, cool. Like If it happened once, it can happen again. Next person. Oh, he likes me. He's showing interest in me. Like, he said sweet things about my birthmark. Like, it's an addict looking for stuff that's not there. When it comes to, and I didn't coin this term, there's a therapy podcast that I watch and I listen to, and that's one of the things that she talks about. Love addicts are attracted to avoidant people. It's that age old adage, opposites attract. I've been with enough avoidance that it's just like, no, I have to let that part go. And I had to have the faith to step up and say, Nicole, like, you shouldn't bury or ignore painful emotions. And remember, it's important to embrace them and move on so that you can get on with your life. I don't even like saying move on because even in that space, in the culture that we live in nowadays, a lot of people just move on and move on and move on and move on. It's a lesson to learn. I'm gonna ignore it. I'm gonna move on, move on, move on. Like, I move forward, and I'm intentional about moving forward and using that term because I've lived my moments where I've had too many of them where it's just like I'm going through the motions. All right, we two ships in the night, but at least we two ships together, moving in the night, not focusing on the fact that we're actually moving in opposite directions. I've had enough of conversation just for the sake of having conversation. I've had enough of being around people just for the sake of being around people because I don't necessarily feel the best about myself, and I feel like being around all of these other people I don't have to pay attention to, I don't have to focus on, I don't have to speak on what the real root of it is that I'm over here wallowing in despair and feeling upset. And I'm mad at myself because I want it to be a constructive response to any situation that I'm in. But in just moving on and moving on and moving on and moving on, all it results in is my failing to build new, real attachments and to move forward with my life. I've had enough of that. Hence the mind reset. And with all that being said, like, now here we'll talk about, or we'll look at some ways that you can move forward and overcome emotions that potentially might be crippling you and preventing you from getting on with your life. Like I said at the top of this conversation, I hope that that sincerely is everyone who is watching this video, listening to it, half ass listening to it, whatever the case may be. I hope that that is you guys' intention to want to move forward in your life from whatever ultimately brought you to this situation so that you can move forward with your life to get on with your life in the best way possible. So, the first thing that I want to talk about in regards to that is getting stuck in. And you can put a dot, dot, dot after that. You can fill in the blank. You can add whatever to that that you need to. But that is something important in the process of letting go. There are times where you get stuck in something. Letting go of people and relationships is very different from letting go of projects and ideas. If you have lost a thing, loss of like lots of money, maybe you lost your job, maybe you're a novelist and you are working on a really good novel and you lost all of your data on that for some reason. I watched a movie the other day, and the guy was trying to be nice. His girlfriend had fallen asleep. He saw that she had worked so hard. She left her laptop on the desk and she was passed out. Came in, gave her a kiss, closed her laptop because, low key for him, It's one of the things that was driving them apart because she was always working. Next day comes, you hear her screaming in the room. Everybody comes rushing in. It's like, what's going on? What's the emergency? She's like, I lost all of my work. And somebody asked, well, how does that even happen? She was like, I hadn't backed anything up. I was tired from working and I fell asleep. I know I left my laptop open. I don't know what happened. And of course, him and his loving way, hey, I saw that you were tired. So I closed your laptop. I was unaware that you hadn't saved your work. And she started going off calling him everything other than the child of God. But that put him into a space where it's just like, oh, yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm about to let this go, meaning walk out of the room. They did ultimately end up breaking up because she just, wasn't the right person for him. But all of that is just an illustration of like some instances where you may take a L. Some of those things have real deep emotions tied to them, and some of them are just like, well, okay. You're somebody who gambles, goes to the casino. You have the programming of you win some, you lose some. You lose $100, it might not be a big deal to you. Somebody else lose $100, that could be literally the last $100 that they have. I would hope they're not out there gambling with it, but I don't judge anybody. People are gonna do what they gonna do. But there are different ways that those things are dealt with when having deep feelings tied to it or not having deep feelings tied to it. Either way, both of them, you'll wallow in that upset differently depending on your mindset. Then you may get to the point to where you feel like the best solution is to just simply move on and focus instead of restarting from scratch. But how can you move on and focus? What's the best way to do that? The best way to do that is to pick up the pieces and build a new plan to rebuild. But you first have to understand not being stuck in this too shall pass. Like I didn't do it's the second week in a row, and I'm really starting to get mad and frustrated with myself, but still have grace at the same time. I have not done my mindful moment for the week, but that was my mindful moment. This too shall pass. Everything that I'm currently going through, it's going to pass because everything that I was just previously going through has come to pass, right? So it's just like in understanding that things and people come to pass, that should help you be at a space where you cannot get stuck in whatever it is that the process of letting go is going to try to possibly get you stuck in. Stuck in your mindset, stuck in your way of thinking, stuck in your preferences, stuck in your process, stuck in what them other people are and aren't doing, what they did and didn't do. Like if you're really trying to work on building the power that you have to let go, remember this: the sooner you rebuild, the less you've actually lost. And I know that sounds easier said than actually lived, but it's true. It's just like, okay, um, the $100 analogy. You're somebody who lost $100 and you're somebody who likes to gamble. You'll go to another space to try to get that $100 back. Maybe you lost the $100 at the roulette table, but you're good at playing cards. So you'll go try it that way. But if you're the person who lost the last $100, you'll figure out, okay, that was a loss. Now I got to figure out how to get that 100 plus another 100 back in order to make sure that I'm good. The sooner you rebuild, the less you've actually lost. So the next thing in the process of powering up your process of letting go. Have a send off. I said this in, I think it was yeah, it was the limiting beliefs. Same thing. A lot of this stuff is going to correlate together. Having the send off is the same thing as a eulogy. What happens when someone dies? What do? We have a funeral, we have some sort of homegoing service. There are words that are spoken regarding what is now lost, what has now died. Having a send off, whatever it is that you have lost, it's important to deal with those emotions and to get closure. When it comes to closure, the older you get, you will start to understand, hey, this situation is ending. I may ask you for closure, but if you're not trying to give me that closure, that's a part of the closure that I need. Or if you're actually, and I feel this so strongly, if you're in pursuit of healing after someone has hurt you and you're walking away and you're leaving it alone, like you can find your own closure when you really give yourself the space to sit back and run back the conversations. Don't run them down. Meaning, don't be like, this. All right, well, generally, what I received was that didn't want me. Yeah, it hurt because I'm me. But if I'm not for that person, okay, I'm not for that person. I'm still who I was called to be. But even in me being called to be who I'm supposed to be, I still have this stuff about that previous situation that I need to send off. Like I said, that is why a funeral and a wake are so important following the death of a loved one, as they allow us to say goodbye. When we were in church today, Transformation, shout out to everybody that go there, everybody Transformation Nation. This is not a plug. I love my church, y'all. If you knew my history with church, how it started versus now, yeah, no, I have no qualms about it. But there's a song and it's like goodbye yesterday. And that's all Pastor Rowe kept saying. Like I had to keep myself from saying the rest of it because that's enough. Goodbye yesterday. Yesterday can literally be yesterday, as in today is Sunday watching this video. It could be yesterday, Saturday. Yesterday could be goodbye to the person who fumbled you or mishandled you. Yet goodbye yesterday could be bye to the way that you was thinking previously that got you linked up and intertwined in those situations that you know you didn't have no business being in the first place. Goodbye yesterday could be the devil had a hold on me through whatever it is that I'm doing, drinking, smoking, not being honest, not being a good person, lying to this woman, lying to that man, lying to my kids, lying to myself, trying to lie to God, whatever the case may be. Goodbye yesterday is a powerful statement because it can actually be the thing that closes that chapter in our lives. Like, and if we cannot get the closure from a person, if that's what the situation was about, you know what? All right, cool. Goodbye yesterday. Because I still got tomorrow to look forward to. I still got today that I'm actually living. You can have a send off for anything, whether it's someone you loved or a business. Oh, man. Ooh, I'm getting wind of all of this right now. First, it was all my relationships, but now I'm at a point to where even I literally, this is all confirmation for me, y'all. This is why I'm like, fidgeting. The spirit is awake and it is alive. But I literally just had a conversation with a really good girlfriend about those two things. I had to say goodbye to someone I loved. And now I'm on a track of like she told me, I don't have to say goodbye to certain businesses, but in order to get to the level of success that it is that I want to achieve within my businesses, I have to focus on one because focusing on all of them, God gave me so many gifts. And I am very loving and I am very appreciative of the gifts that God gave me. But at the same time, just because He gave them to me, that doesn't mean I have to do all of them at once. He's going to make the way, and I have to be faithful and I have to be diligent and obedient now that He has called me to focus on one. And when I was talking to my girlfriend, I had the revelation of the shepherd. He left the 99 for the one, and that has come to me even in my relationship space that I just had to let go of. And it wasn't necessarily a problem of other women. It was preferences and ways of life and thought processes and not being like 99 other things. But in the relationship space, this person chose that one. Sorry, this person chose the 99 and left the one. But even in that revelation of me talking to you guys now, like the smile on my face is naturally genuine because I've had the funeral, I've had the eulogy, now I'm in the celebration part to mark the end to an impactful time in my life because the old me is in that space. The old me is left there. The old me is actually in that grave with that person. But I know that the old me, as the old me continues to deteriorate, it's still going out and it's still providing nutrients into the environment that I'm currently in. Hell, the old me is still giving that person nutrients. But in the analogy of that, those nutrients are limited. And once the old me is truly returned to the earth in all of its form, that person will no longer reap those benefits. That's a reason to celebrate as well. But for me, I understand that that is actually a very good way to get rid of the type of thinking that I didn't know that I needed, that I the type of thinking that because this situation has come to an end, because that situation was something that I had to let go of, it's the end. No, baby, it ain't the end. It's the end of that, but it's the beginning of everything else. Look out, world. I have arrived. But it also gives me the opportunity to recognize the value of everything when it comes to letting go. There's an expression that says it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. Now, hearing that in the space of letting go, that might not seem comforting to those who have done the last half of that, not loved at all. But it's actually very true. Whether or not the person, relationship, or possession is gone, you will have learned and grown from the experience. Like that's the beauty of what I feel like God has given us in this ability to be able to love. Loving and getting hurt, it sucks. It really does. Like and it's not again, it's not just in the relationship space. Like you could love your career and if you are like me in Oklahoma, Oklahoma's an at-will state. They can let you go without reason or cause. Just like you can quit without reason or cause, but that still doesn't mean that that process of letting go hurts any less. But there's a lesson that can be taken from either of those. You get fired from your job, guess what? You got the opportunity to go to another one. And you might find actually a better one that's gonna pay you more, give you better benefits, and give you more time off. But you wouldn't have been able to get to that place unless the job you had before was let go of. All of this conversation, all of my conversations are just hopeful to challenge your perspective. When you realize that they have the situations, the things that you've had to let go of have actually left a lasting impression on you and changed who you are, then you realize that a part of them is indeed living on. I know this 100% to be fact because my previous situation is still speaking on me. But for what? You didn't want me. I wasn't what you wanted. Obviously, I wasn't what you needed. But maybe I am because you speaking on it because you ain't got access to it no more. You can't talk about it. You can't feel it. You can't experience the goodness, the faithfulness, the gentleness, the kindness. None of that. Your access has been restricted. You go into the door to try to touch it with your old key card. We don't even use that key card company no more. Just to make sure that the access is not granted. Just to make sure that the access can't be hacked. Don't play with people. By no means. Be honest. If somebody ain't for you, they ain't for you. But don't make it seem like you are. So I'm in therapy. I have no qualms about saying it. And my therapist tried to take me on an experience of an exercise. I never did it in the way in which he said it. I did it in my own way. But it's called the empty chair. So sometimes part of the difficulty with letting go of a loved one or a relationship is that you still have unresolved issues that you haven't had a chance to overcome. And sometimes things go unsaid until it's too late. So to help you move on in the way my therapist tried to help me move on is it requires a visual representation. Like so if you have something, a shirt, a picture, whatever of the individual that you need to let go of, but you got to get some things off your chest. The to help you move on, it's often useful to like get the issues off your chest by putting that thing in an empty chair as a means to talk to it so that you can imagine that that person now this specifically is about relationships. It can be romantic relationships, it can be friendships, it can be familial relationships. This specific thing is 100% about relationships. You imagine that as just like I'm sitting in front of you guys right now. Imagine that there is a chair on the other side of the screen that I'm talking to. In that chair is said individual that I need to get this stuff off of my chest for. But because I've already gotten into the space of working to let it go, I no longer have a physical or I'm no longer allowing a physical opportunity for me and that person to interact and come together. But I still, y'all like me, spirit was agitated, not being able to say any of what I needed to say. When my therapist presented this to me, and y'all gonna think I'm crazy on like some, Left Eye Lopez type stuff. But I'm not. You just gotta figure out what part of, this exercise and this process works for you. But he told me that he said, do you have anything that belongs to this individual? Yes, Dr. Pons, I have said item. Well, put the item in the chair. You get a chair and sit there and talk to it. Dr. Pons, that sound a little crazy. No, it's supposed to help you to be able to release. He also suggested that another like useful thing that I could do because he knows I like to write. He knows into communication was to write a letter to said individual and then destroy it afterwards. Now, where I was within my headspace at that time, hearing that second part, I was like, so if I have this item, yeah, I'm gonna write the letter. I'm gonna get the feelings out. But you told me I could burn it, so that mean I could burn the letter and this item. All right, cool. And my therapist looked at me like, "Girl, no, that's not quite what I was saying. But if that's what you feel like you need in order to be able to work your process of letting go, by all means, have at it." Long story short, because I like to keep it real, I didn't burn it. I wrote the letter, took the item, moved like a thief in the night, took it to that person's house, put it in a mailbox. I'm done. No announcement, no, hey, check your mailbox. No, none of that. You'll find it when you find it. You'll find it when you're meant to find it. You'll find it when you go looking for it. But me, Imma put it in a space where I know you gonna end up finding it sooner rather than later. I don't mess with people's cars and stuff like that, because they got alarms on it and all that good stuff. But, yeah, like, no. But I did what I needed to do in order to facilitate my process of being able to really let go. I'm just gonna say a couple more things and Imma let y'all go, even though I started a little bit late. You know, ultimately what it is that you need to do in order to implement the process of letting go. Whether or not you do it, how long it actually takes you to do it, that's on you. If you are for real about implementing this process of this mind reset, you got to get hot about what it is that you need to let go of and what it is that it's going to take for you to let go of that thing. I think the thing for me in therapy, we just, I think it was like maybe a month ago now, we just started to reevaluate goals. And in one of my goals that I put on there, I told my therapist, I want to stop procrastinating. Now, procrastination is such a broad term. It could be, oh, like I said, my mindful moments. I procrastinated a little bit on being able to get those done for the past 2 weeks. All right, I admit that. Or, the clothes. If y'all watched any of my earlier videos, the clothes that sat on my couch for forever, that was nothing but sheer procrastination. I had to get specific with it and say, I no longer want to wait to do the things that I know I need to do in specific situations. That previous situation with that individual who hurt me, that's the reason why I had to write the letter. My therapist illuminated the path or a path that I could take, but I needed that to be like, you know what? This is what I need to do. It ain't crazy. It ain't wrong. Like I need to do this for me. Forget that other person, what anybody else may think. I need to be able to get my spirit back right where it needs to be. And the only way, because I know this is the way, I feel this is the way, is for me to do this thing. Cool. Now, that wasn't the end of it. But long story short, I did get to the end of it in my way, clearly, with clarity and understanding. But I needed to get that power. I needed that power to rise up on the inside of me so that I could fully let a unpleasant, not the best I don't know that I wanna say bad situation in a way, but a bad situation in a way. I needed to let that experience go so that any and everything that was meant for me could fully start to come to me. Now, aquatic analogy. I talk about the pebble in the ocean. Me letting go was me dropping the pebble in the ocean. Boop. When a pebble drops in the ocean, the water ripples out and it carries certain things out with it. Doesn't mean that it's going to carry every single thing you want to out with it. There are going to be some things that may move from the surface of the water just a little bit lower or even down below. So as water goes out, based on the tide of the moon and everything else, it's going to bring some things back in. All right. I'm in a space of things are really trying to come back in, not said individual, but other things that correlate to said individual. I don't want it. If I got to move to another part of the ocean, if I got to move from the ocean to a river, if I got to move from a river to a stream, if I got to move from a stream to a swimming pool, which is a controlled environment, baby, let me tell you, I'm going to move forward and I'm going to do that because I've already experienced that loss and the losses I've experienced while in that loss. I'm not willing to do it again. Not on duty. Not on duty. So I hope for all of y'all, like there is, and you can find something that you can take out of this conversation. Cause I don't just say it for me. I don't. I have to listen to myself. Um, and I don't really practice these things so that then, a little bit of the rawness can come out to you guys and you can get it just like I'm gonna get it because ain't nobody above it. If my daughter can get it, everyone can get it. And that's my philosophy in life. Because that's just the place that I'm willing to operate in because we need that. We need more of that honesty. We need more of that openness. We need more of that transparency because we need to understand the necessity of confronting and processing emotions as a means to move forward with a healthier, more positive mindset. Where your mind leads, your body, your life, your heart, your eyes, those that follow you, everything else follows. For real. And it's better to understand now in the process of making the changes that you need to make, just the significance of the impact of everything, who you are, where you're going, who you've been called to be, the type of person that you are. Like if you're a bad person, you have the opportunity to be a good person, but you got to let go of being a bad person before you can be a good person. My daughter's issue is she can't remember stuff. You got to let go of being bad at remembering. What does mommy say about remembering? In order to remember, you have to first not forget. Now, to a 10-year-old, that seems like it would blow her mind, but we've talked about it enough to where now she's in the holding pattern of making a decision. I know what life is like when I don't remember stuff. In order to get the good things that I want in life, I have to start remembering. There's something that we all have to let go of. It doesn't have to take you out. It may take you down. It may take you left instead of right, but it's still taking you somewhere. Just make the decision to let go. I want to say thank y'all for coming and joining me this evening on another episode of the Sunday Sit Down with yours truly, Nicole Latrice. Make sure you come back and join me next Sunday where we will be talking about implicit memory. And that has to do with negative lingering emotions and beliefs that come from your old experiences and you don't initially remember that you feel that particular way or you're doing that particular thing because of an old experience that you had previously in your life. I'm gonna leave y'all with that. And as always, I hope each and every one of you really has the desire to live a good life filled with real love and all of the above. So until next Sunday, I hope y'all have a good week and I look forward to seeing y'all there. Everyone who has joined me on Instagram, Debonair Mail, Fresh Fred since 82, Godly One, thank y'all for joining me tonight. To everyone that has joined me on Facebook as well, thank you. It really means a lot to me. Share this message with somebody who you know can benefit from it, or even that person where you just like, I think this person may benefit from that, but I'm not too sure. But let me go ahead and send it anyways. And then to all my peeps on YouTube as well, thank you, thank you, thank you. Continue to share the message, grow this. Let's do this thing of communication with one another better than we've done it before. I love each and every one of y'all, and I'll see y'all next week.